All right. So we are live on a Halloween Wednesday, previewing the college basketball season with two of the guys from BLT and a special guest tonight. Mitch, if you want to start.
Well, we have Mitchell Janner here, and I mean, as you can see, I like peanut butter. So on to our next host, Nathan Yagodinsky.
Yeah, I'm Nathan. Lance.
It's your boy, Lance Tevon. Special feature on this college basketball preview show. That's it.
Lance, nice having you. We're going to start with as the season goes on, we all get those teams we love, but we're gonna establish right away a Fab Four, if you will, of who we're gonna cheer for this season and who we're going to be sticking with. Mitch, I'm going to start with you. I know at least one, but let's hear it.
My four teams, I'm going to start with Wisconsin Badgers, basically just because I'm a hometown guy, home state. And I also have the Marquette Golden Eagles, which is going to be a little conflicting because
this is your top
Marquette. Big game.
No, these are the teams he's picking to cheer for this year.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have the Dukies.
What the fuck?
And then I also have the University of Oregon. Ducks.
Wow.
Nathan.
Well, I'm going to kick things off with Wisconsin. That's an easy one. And then we're going to go to North Carolina. Tar Heels on a mission this year, led by Luke May. Then my next one is the St. John's Johnnies. That's a quality squad. Been repping them for a couple of years now. I'm expecting big things. And my fourth team, I'm going to go to the University of Wisconsin Green Bay Phoenix, led by Sandy Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
Not led by Sandy Cohen. Cody Schwartz.
Schwartz Sports. How about you, Lance?
Lance only knows four teams, so everyone, let's get to this.
We are going to have to go with my Duke Blue Devils, obviously number one, best team in the nation. And then number two, we are going to have to go with the Wisconsin Badgers. Number three, we are going to have to go with, unfortunately, Marquette. A little struggle last night, but we're going to have to go with them at number three. Number four, we are going to go with Oakland out of the freaking horizon.
Oakland.
That is the team to root for this year.
You couldn't name a single player on that team or in the past 5 years.
It doesn't matter. They are up and coming.
I think Kendrick Nunn is gone, but all right, Oakland. That's why we got Lance. Wild card for sure.
Kay Felder's been gone for a while, buddy.
Obviously, I'm going to start with number one, Marquette. Number two, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Love them. Number three, Virginia. Back, better than ever. Number four, the Wolfpack, Eric Musselman. Got him going. Number seven, see how they do. All right. Any other points you want to make on your teams? Any predictions, or should we get right to it? Conference preview.
We got to pick our top 5 teams first.
All right.
Heading into the
Let's
season.
hear it.
Conference preview. All right, well, let's all go around and say our number ones and kind of go through and explain. You can start, Lance.
All right. The number one team. Yes, they are ranked number one also in the preseason polls. Kansas. They are the best team. No one will stop Dedrick Lawson. He is the best player in the country as of right now.
He's the best player in the country?
As of right now, yes, sir.
He hasn't played in a year.
Okay, well, that's hot takes. I'm going to go, unless someone else. Mitch, you can go.
Well, they had this one recruit come in who initially was a Wisconsin Badger, and he reminds me so much of my favorite NBA player, Devin Booker, and he plays for the Kentucky Wildcats. Yes, they are returning everyone. They have the second best recruiting class in 2018 and the top grad transfer in Reed Travis. You can expect the Kentucky Wildcats to be at number one most of the year.
All right. I'm going to go with the Gonzaga Bulldogs, best team in the country.
Wow.
That team, they returned all but 2 players from a squad that went 32-5 last season. And
What conference they in? What I thought.
that's the guard play is extremely solid with Perkins and Norval. They have 2 underrated transfers that kind of went under the radar because
Brandon Clark.
Clark and Grandal. And this team is going to finish 18-0 in the WCC. There's not a doubt about that. They're not losing a game in the conference. And one last thing, get to know the name Rui Hachimura. He's a stud, and honestly, he's probably one of the best players in college basketball. And get to know that name right now. Lance Tevon, write that down.
All right. Well, this doesn't happen often. I have to agree with Nathan. I got the Gonzaga Bulldogs as well. So that transfer, Brandon Clark specifically, gained a lot of hype from San Jose State. He averaged 18 a game last year. You had him in the mix with Perkins, Norvell, Rui. Obviously, Tilly's a big loss at the moment, but when they get him back, committee will take that into account. When they're at full strength, they can be the best team in the nation.
Can I do a hot take quick?
Let's hear it.
Gonzaga will lose 2 players because they will be playing in an Army base. Once again, the floor will be too wet, and they will break ankles.
Well,
All right. I like
okay,
it. All right.
I can handle that. Hot take.
All right.
So we're confirming the broken ankles, though?
2 of them, yes.
One person's going to break 2 or 2 people are going to break 1?
2 people are going to break 1.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if one person's breaking 2, how are they landing? Like, what's going on here?
All right. My second best team in the country, I have the Kentucky Wildcats.
Let's hear the rest of your list, the 2 through 5.
Okay.
Not just your second one, just
Okay.
all of them.
Kentucky Wildcats at 2. Obviously, the grad transfer and Reed Travis is a huge addition. And they finally got the experience that they've kind of been lacking the past couple of years. Enough players returned, I feel like. Green and Quigley will, in my opinion, be probably close to the top of the top 2 1-2 guards in the country, them 2. And then Harrell and Montgomery off the bench, I think, are going to be key. I think Harrell's going to see an expanded role as the season goes on. I really think he might be the guy for Calipari in the end. 3 is Kansas. And honestly, I wanted to put them farther down. But they have the most talented college basketball without a doubt. But the hoops trial is kind of what makes me worry about where their focus is. Like, kind of look at what happened to Arizona last year. When that all came out, things just faltered and they kind of hit rock bottom real quick. And they're starting 2 very talented, but 2 freshman guards. And they don't really have a glue guy like Graham there anymore. So that, I don't know, running the point might be a problem for them. 4, I got the Tar Heels out of North Carolina. The scandal's officially over, and the recruiting is starting to reflect it. Roy Williams was able to bring in top recruits again, as in Nazar Little and Kobe White. They can shoot the 3 with the best of them, which has not been something Carolina's been able to boast recently. Will, Cam, and Luke are all above average 3-point shooters. Luke will space the floor, allowing young, talented guards to make plays for themselves. And they have the talented guards that can score off the ball. You saw what Joel Berry could do in that system, and now you get someone more athletic like Little or White. And they have a 3-headed monster at center. None of them are like uber talented, but they provide depth, and it allows Roy to match up very, very well. And the most important factor is Luke May. He's the best player in college basketball this year. And you got that guy on your team, and it's going to help. 4, and then my 5th team, I got Michigan State. The team has got a lot of experience. They're not going to need to start a freshman. They're the only team on this list that will not be starting a freshman, besides probably Gonzaga, but we'll see where they start at center. They're very, very deep, and I'm expecting a breakout season out of Langford. Winston, he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in college, the best point guards in college basketball, and he's kind of their floor general. So that's why I got them sitting at 5.
I'm going to quick zip off 2 through 5 here. Number 2, I have Virginia. Just, I think, senior-laden team. veteran team with a little fire. The season can really go two ways. It can be a bounce back, or that can hang over their heads the entire time. Number 3, I have Duke, obviously the uber talent. Number 4, Kentucky, deep team. Number 5, Kansas. A side note, everyone's counting on the Lawsons to do a lot, but we've only seen them play for Memphis. So it'll be interesting to see if they can develop. I don't think they'll have a problem, but I'm just holding a little bit back for now. Lance?
Fair.
My number 2 is going to be, excuse me, Mitchell. My number 2 is going to be the Duke Blue Devils. Their freshmen are just too talented not to be at number 2. Number 3 is going to be the solid Kentucky team, returning a bunch of guys, getting Tyler Harrow, who's going to be a very big piece. Number 4 is going to be Virginia. They are good. They are going to be a good, solid, reliable team like usual. And then my number 5 is going to be Villanova. Transfer to Albany, Joe Cremo, whatever the hell his name is. Whatever his name is. And Javon Quiverly, he's good. He is going to be good. And many of these I have honorable mentions for. My honorable mention for my top 5 team is the Vols, Tennessee. Watch out for them.
All right, Mitch. Hopefully we don't hear Oregon in this list. But let's hear 2 through 5.
Right you are, Austin Rank. Number 2, we're going to go with the Duke Blue Devils. I mean, 4 guys in the 2018 recruiting class that are in the top 10, frankly.
Well, like 4.5. 4.5. Zion's like 2 men.
1, 2, and 3, all starting for your Duke Blue Devils this year. They have a recruit that's the number 33 in the class of 2018, and he may have to redshirt because this is a talented squad.
Well, no, he's probably
Next I have
Coach
the Virginia Cavaliers. Let me get that peanut butter in first. They're returning everyone. They have Braxton Key grad transfer from Alabama. And I think they can come over that hangover loss against UMBC in NCAA tournament 1 against 16. First time that's ever happened. Next, we have the North Carolina Tar Heels. Notice how I said North Carolina, not Carolina. I mean, they got Luke May, they got Kenny Williams, they got Cam Johnson all coming back, and they also have one of my favorite players in this recruiting class, Nasir Little. And my number 5, the Kansas Jayhawks. I mean, they got the Lawson brothers. I mean, they don't have Devontae Graham. I think that might hurt him a little bit because that was a huge leadership role for him. And I don't see this team having that leader. But as well, Lance Tevon had an honorable mention. I have an honorable mention. Gotta put down my peanut butter. We got the Oregon Ducks, baby. They have the number 3 ranked recruiting class of 2018. And later on in the show, I'll explain why I'm so high on the Ducks this year. That concludes my list.
One thing I'd like to challenge all 3 of you is why are you so high on Virginia?
On Virginia?
Yeah.
When you got guys like Jerome Guy coming back, and they're basically returning everyone. I like Salt at center. He was a centerpiece of that offense last year, and he did a lot defensively.
They're returning every player that lost to a 16 seed.
It doesn't matter. Experience is a virtue in this sport of college basketball.
Look what they did in the ACC last year.
What did they do to improve?
I'm not saying they're going to replicate that.
What did they do to improve? I mean,
everybody
they're great
else around
defensively.
them
Everyone thinks about them as a defensive team, but I did see Andy Katz has them as the number 1 or 2 shooting teams all across the nation. And
I was also looking at a breakout list on Sports Illustrated today, and multiple people have DeAndre Hunter. I haven't heard much about him. Obviously, his absence was felt last year. I don't know. We're going to see.
He's probably the best defender on the team.
He plays defense. He can't do anything else, though. But my only problem with them is that team did not improve. They did not get any better.
You could say that about numerous teams around college basketball.
Everybody else is gaining a piece. They didn't gain anything.
What is cohesiveness?
They lost to a 16 seed.
When you have the same guys playing together for multiple years, you get that bond, that chemistry, and it can take you a long way. That's just what I have on that.
Guard play with Guy and Jerome. That is
I guess we'll have to see how this Virginia season shakes out. Something we'll have to keep an eye on.
All right, so right into conference play then?
Top 5 players.
No, we got top 5 players.
All right. Top five players. I must have missed that on my list.
Where we go 1 and then go 2 through 5 after that.
All right. We'll start with Lance. Did you already give yours, Dedrick?
Nope. That is not my number one.
All right.
Before he said he's the best player in college
We'll
basketball.
start with Lance.
He changed.
He might be the best player, but he's just not on this
He said he was
list.
the best player at the moment. It changed in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is a different moment.
Number 1. The number 1 best player
probably not on the
in the
list.
country
If you say Zion.
is R.J. Barrett.
Okay.
He is the best player in the country. Flat out scores the basketball. No one will stop him.
In high school,
He
what
is
has he
the
done?
next Kyrie Irving out of Duke.
Right.
You're
Nathan?
saying the best player in college basketball is a freshman?
Yes, I do.
I have a problem with that. I do have a problem when they haven't
in
played
the
a
summer,
game.
in the summer when he was playing on the USA team, all the scouts were asked who they would draft first, and R.J. Barrett was
Yeah.
on almost every single guy's
Yes,
list.
he's a top prospect. Doesn't mean he's the best player.
Best player in the country.
I always
No,
have
it
a problem
doesn't.
with
It doesn't mean you're the
player
best player.
one.
You see
He
guys
is
like
the best player.
Okay.
okay, but Buddy Hield was the best player in
I think he's the best player.
Buddy Hield was the best player in college basketball, but just because he's not the top prospect because he stays multiple years, he doesn't have as much
Best player,
potential.
not the best amount of potential. R.J. Barrett, best player, best amount of potential,
I mean-
best upside.
We're in the list. We did not do potential, but who do we got next, Rank?
I'm kind of coming up with this off the fly, but I'm gonna look at my players of the year, and I'm gonna say, Mike Daum.
Ooh,
He should win the player of the year with the numbers. I'm not saying most talented, but the guy's gonna average 28 and 13 maybe, some massive numbers. But since he goes to South Dakota State, he won't be winning player of the year, which is disappointing. Jackrabbits are gonna have a good squad this year, possibly lead a second round push.
All right. Well, mine's kind of easy. Mine's pretty easy. I'm going to go Luke May. Easily the best returning player in college basketball, and I'm not going to give the nod to a freshman. So this made that decision pretty easy. He averaged a double-double last year. He was one of 2 players in one of the Power 6 to average a double-double that are returning. So he's got that to boast about. He shot 43% from the three-point line last year. For a big, that's pretty solid. And he's kind of a matchup nightmare, so I don't really know how anyone's going to be able to guard him this year. But he's the best player in college basketball without a doubt.
I'm going to go with a hot take before I say this. Me and Lance are the only ones that know what we are talking about. The number 1 player is R.J. Barrett. He has the most potential. Yes, he's definitely going to be the number 1 pick. He could tear his ACL. He's still going to be the number 1 pick. But every single asset of the game, you can't find a weakness in this guy's game, and that's just why I have him at number 1.
All right. 2 through 5, Lance, if you just want to reel those off quick.
Coming in
Yeah,
at
I
number
just called
2.
Chief, and he said that ain't it.
Wow.
Coming in.
I just called the
at
chief, and he said it
Really?
was. There we go.
Coming in at number 2 on my list. A lot of people don't talk about him. Carson Edwards out of Purdue.
Who doesn't talk
Carson
about him?
Edwards.
He's number 2
Averaged
on my list.
18 and a half last year. He will be the leader this year. They lost 3 seniors. He will be the leader, and he will average over 20 points. Number 3, Dedrick Lawson. I don't care if he hasn't played for
He fell all the way to
Different
3.
Different moment.
Bill Self thrives with these kind of players. Perry Ellis. Go all the way back to Paul Pierce. We don't care. We'll take
Perry
him
Ellis
all.
has been there 50 years.
By the end of this podcast, Lawson's not even going to be top 5.
As a sophomore, he averaged 19 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal.
Wait, who's
Like, what
this?
else can you ask for out of a big guy?
Who?
Thank you. That was still Dedrick Lawson. Number 3, I am going to have to side with Yago. I am going with Luke May. The guy can flat out play basketball. Returning senior, he is going to be a key piece for that team. And my number 5, Zion Williamson. He will be the top. Oh, he is going to be so good. As Yago would say, he's fat. I don't know where that comes out of. He is the most athletic person we have ever seen since LeBron James. And I will stand tall with that one. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'd just like to point out, since you're saying Duke has 2 of the top 5 players in college basketball, when they don't make it out of the second round of the tournament this year, then we'll have to come back to you and see what happens. If they got
Also, honorable mentions. Marcus Howard. Out of
oh my
Marquette.
God! Don't get me started on that.
Bias Battle out of Syracuse.
How many honorable mentions did you got?
P.J. Washington out of Kentucky. And Nick Ward out of Michigan State.
All right, I've heard enough. None of those guys are anywhere near the top. Nick Ward is one of the top
Yes,
8
sir.
players in college basketball.
If
Please
we're
stop talking.
calling Zion fat, holy man, Nick Ward is a
Talk
double.
about hefty Nick Ward. I hope he tunes into the show. You can see me in Ripon College
All right,
if you have a problem with it.
go number 2. Number 2 for me is gonna be, yes, he may be from Virginia, Kyle Guy. He's a very good player,
Not the
underrated
second best player in
player.
college basketball.
Maybe he's not the most talented player, but he has a chance to win Player of the Year, being on one of the best teams in the country. Number 3, Rui Nachimura. Yes, the guy can flat out ball. If you haven't watched a Gonzaga game ever, even when they went to the Final Four, you're missing out. Last year, he played well. He's got a little nice hairstyle. Goes right with his Rui name. I mean, he's going to be a good player. Number 4. Luke May.
Yes.
I really think he's a double-double machine, whatever. Number 5. Yeah, I'll put a freshman on the list. I'll just go number 1, RJ Barrett. Why not? He's talented, I'm sure. My sources, which is Lance T-Bon, the huge Dookie, tells me he's going to be the number 1 pick. Gotta believe him.
Little's
Mitch.
going to be.
At number 2, we have Nasir. How do you say his name?
Nazir Little.
Iago?
Nazir Little.
Nazir? Okay, at number 2, I have Nazir Little.
I like that.
The last player to win McDonald's All-American MVP and the Jordan Classic Brand MVP, LeBron James. Where's he? I don't know. He's just one of the best players in the world.
Basically,
Nazir
solid
Little.
numbers.
I mean, he's projected 2 or 3 pick in the next draft, and I can see it. This guy, honestly, I wanted to put him at 1, but RJ Barrett has a little more hype coming in, but I do like Little's game, and frankly, he could be the best player in college basketball.
Absolutely.
Number 3, the guy that no one talks about apparently, Carson Edwards, even though he's on I'm pretty sure he's on all of our lists. He averaged 18.5 and shot 40% from 3. And he's the best guard in the country. I'm going to just put it right there. Number 4, Luke May. The guy averaged 16.1 points per game, 10 rebounds, and shot 43% from 3. I mean, and he's got experience. He's leading a great North Carolina team with Little. And number 5, I have 2 guys, and one's from Marquette, one's from Wisconsin. Got any guesses? We got any guesses?
Ethan Happ.
Ethan Happ and Marcus Howard. I mean, we heard a little bit about Marcus Howard from Lance, but I got Ethan Happ. He averaged 18 points per game. And low-key, 3.7 assists last year. I mean, last year, how teams beat Wisconsin was they doubled Ethan Happ, and I feel like he really improved his game along with the other Badgers, and that's why I got him at number 5.
All right, well, coming in at number 2 on my list is the guy no one talks about, Carson Edwards. He's the best point guard in college basketball. He could have made the jump to the league last year, but he decided to come back to school. He averaged 18.5 last year and shot 40% from the three-point line. And he's kind of like that silent killer. Like, you're not going to hear about him much in terms of what Lance is saying. Like, as the game progresses, then you look at the box score at the end of the game, the guy put up 19 and shot 3 for 8 or 3 for 6 from three-point line.
There is a reason that guy came back for his senior year. He wants people to know his name.
Well, we all kind of know his name. 3, I'm going to side with rank on this one, and Rui Hachimura. As I said above, learn that name because you're going to hear it a lot this year. He's uber talented, and he's growing into his body. Number 4, I got a newcomer on this list, Shamari Pons. He's the best scorer in college basketball, in my opinion. He's a great shooter, and he's kind of unguardable. You just watch a highlight of some St. John's clips last year. That team was not that good. And he kept them in a lot of games, and he carried them a lot of the time. And he's undoubtedly a great scorer. And then 5, I got Mike Dahm. Shot 40% from 3 every single year he's been in college. He averaged 24 last year, and he's 23, so he's literally a man among boys there. And he's got the best nickname in college basketball, the Dominator. So without a doubt, he's on this list. Could have had him higher, but that's where we're going to keep him.
All right. Well, Mitch is drinking his emergency. As you can see, he's getting a cold again this week. We're going to start our conference preview, I believe.
Absolutely.
And with that, we're going to start with the very, very highly, not at all, touted American Athletic Conference.
They're the Carson Edwards of conferences.
Wichita State down, maybe. Who's going to win it? We're going to go through the champ, the player of the year, and the team to watch. But please define team to watch. Is that dark horse, or is that most talented, or is that who we should just be watching on TV at 11 o'clock at night? So, Nathan, we're going to start with you here.
The American, my champ is Cincinnati. Not real out of left field here. And my player of the year is Jalen Adams. I feel like that guy's been in college basketball for like 6 years now. You just kind of you hear his name every once in a while, and you kind of forget he's there, but he's still there.
Hit the half quarter versus
hit the half
Cincy.
quarter against Cincy in the conference tournament. And my team to watch is Tulsa.
I do believe we were at a very sentimental place at that hour.
My team to watch is Tulsa. They're predicted to finish in the bottom third of the conference, but they have a lot of new talent coming in with JUCO and transfers. And I don't think they're going to finish in the bottom third. They're not going to compete for a conference championship or anywhere near the top, but they're kind of a team to watch out for. They're kind of a dark horse in that conference. A lot of talent coming in that's kind of unheard of.
All right,
I'll go next.
Lance, yeah, you can go. Lance.
Okay. My champ is going to be the UCF. UCF. Remember the team. Taco Fall. He will be a key factor this year. All their players are healthy. BJ Taylor, one of the best guards. They will be the best team in the AAC.
I just like to say something about Taco Fall. That guy's hype started here, and now if you ask anybody who the tallest player in the American is, I guarantee you no one knows it's Taco Fall, because no one knows about him anymore.
I just told you who it is. Taco Fall.
No one knows about him anymore. He had so much hype, and now he's dead.
That's
All
according
right, Mitch,
to you.
who's your champ?
The guy made Taco Tuesday.
Okay, boys. The champ of the AAC, the Memphis Tigers. We got Penny Hardaway as their coach, and, you know, they're returning every single guy, literally everyone. But everyone that averaged more than 6.9 points per game is back, which, I mean, if you're averaging 7 points a game, you're probably playing significant minutes. And my player of the year, Jeremiah Martin, who is that key player for Memphis that is returning. 19 points per game last year, dishing out about 4 assists a game, and he had like 2.5 steals. And expect him to improve with a better roster. Now, a team to watch, UCF. They're returning their leading scorer, and this guy with all the hype for all these years, Taco Fall.
All right. I'll say the champ is, I think it's going to be by quite a bit, the Cincinnati Bearcats, who have the player of the year, Jaron Cumberland. People forget about him. When you watch him, he looks like he plays reckless, and it looks like he has no talent at all. He's a shot maker. And team to watch, definitely UCF. Who doesn't want to watch a 7'12" guy on the court running around with a bunch of 5-footers? Especially in the
8 minutes a game because he can't stay on the floor.
And obviously those goggles, I don't know if you got a new pair, but those goggles are styling.
They
All
are.
right, let's head.
Thanks.
Any other comments about the
Wait, just wait. I didn't say my player of the year. I kind of skipped that.
Yeah.
Sorry. My player of the year, Jalen Adams out of UConn. That guy played 38 minutes last year on average. The most reliable player in that conference. Averaged 18, 4, and 4. Guy's an absolute playmaker.
All
And
right.
my team to watch was Memphis.
All right. We'll head straight to the big dogs, the team that gets the most teams in the NCAA tournament. And boy, are they going to be deep, and boy, are they going to be good. So, We'll start with the guy that has really no rooting interest in the ACC, Mitch.
What are you talking about? I had Duke as my top 4. But
Well,
anyway, my champ, or should I say champs, North Carolina and Duke are splitting it this year. And the eye roll, I love it from the Tar Heel. And then the Duke guy's like, holy crap, we just made the top. Player of the year. Player of the year. Nasir Little. That's my player of the year. I had him as number 2. Yeah, RJ Barrett was my number 1. But when you also have Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish, and Trey Jones on your team, it's going to be hard to get a lot of touches where he can succeed at that level. Team to watch, Syracuse. They added a 4-star, and they have one of the honorable mentions from Lance's team, from Lance's list earlier, in Tyus Battle, who, quite frankly, could be a lottery pick in this upcoming draft.
I think Nick Ward could be too.
All right.
Possibly.
Oh, you got one more?
I'm good.
All right. Before the Duke and the Carolina fan go at it, I'll give my takes. Champion Virginia. I've been high on them all show. I just really think that they're just a good team, good rounded team. And I know I'm not going to pick out Carolina or Duke, but those teams have trouble beating them, especially North Carolina. I know Virginia hasn't won a Duke for a while.
45.
But I mean, it's just, I like them a lot. Player of the year comes from that team. Kyle Guy, reliable, 3-point shooter, defender. He can do it all. He's going to lead that team to the promised land. The team to watch, as much as I hate to say it, give me one chance. I hate Christian Laettner, but it's Duke. Duke has the top 3 recruits. You got to see them. They're all talented. How are they going to play with one another? Are they going to develop? Are they going to get it past the first weekend? Only one way to find out, and that's to watch them. That's my team to watch. The University of D-O-O-K. We'll turn it to Lance.
All right, obviously, not biased. My champ is the Duke Blue Devils. Far too talented out of everyone in that conference. They got the brotherhood. They have the chemistry to take it home.
Brother.
My player of the year. My player of the year is a split as of right now. I have not decided. It is between RJ Barrett and Luke May.
I for sure thought Zion Williams.
Zion was my thought.
And a surprising team to watch, the Clemson Tigers. A lot of returning guards. They will be experienced and they will be ready to take on. They will have a couple upsets in the ACC. That's all, folks.
All right, I'm going to be pretty traditional here. Champion's going to be North Carolina because that team knows how to win that conference. They do it at the highest clip in the recent years. Player of the year, best player on the best team, Luke May. And the team to watch, kind of out of left field here, is Pittsburgh. Kevin Stallings is finally gone. That team went 0-18 last year, so the only reason we're going to be watching them is to see when they can finally break that clip and win a basketball game, because honestly, they might not win another game this year. That roster has no talent.
We're going to get to pick them later, but I don't think many of us picked Pittsburgh last year. It's pretty much whoever played Pittsburgh, we were picking them. Whether that was Elon or whether that was the University of Oshkosh.
It's sad to say, but Pittsburgh is one of the top teams in college basketball.
I don't understand.
When they were number 1 in the country in the old Big East, I mean.
Yeah, that team.
I do like their gym though. Their gym is nice.
No one basketball gets you. All right, I think we're moving to the Big East now, huh?
Yeah.
Big East, baby. Who we got first?
Mitchie Matardo.
I mean, before I do this, we have our sponsor, Wonderful Pistachios. Keep cracking. My Big East champ, much as I don't like this team this year.
Marquette?
No, Villanova. I mean, they're losing their top 4 scorers. I just don't know how you replace it. But they do have Phil Booth coming back. They got Eric Pascal. They got Javon Quinterly, who is he's like the number 7 point guard in his class. And Joel Cremo, could be the second or third best grad transfer. So my player of the year, when I was going through my notes, I actually forgot this because it's obvious. Marcus Howard, 20 points per game, 40% from three, 55% from three 2 years ago. Come on. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And my team to watch, Marquette. I mean, there's one person in this BLT segment that is so high on them, and I'm in a couple of group chats with a couple Marquette friends, and I'm like, I mean, I see the talent, but, like, I have to see it before I believe it. That's all I got.
All right, my champ coming out of the Big East is Villanova. That team is far superior. This conference is
copycat.
This conference is filled with mediocrity, and Villanova is really the only team in this conference that I'd really be worried about facing on a schedule this year. Conference Player of the Year, Shamori Pons, like I said before, one of the top players in college basketball, best scorer in the league, without a doubt. And then team to watch is also St. John's. I think they're ready to make the leap under Mullins this year, and like I just previously said, in a very weak conference, I think this team can compete for top 3 in the conference. So they're my team to watch.
All right, I'll go. My Big East champ is also Villanova. Just Quinterly and their Albany transfer, Gramo, they're going to be very good. My player of the year is Marcus Howard out of Marquette. Can't go wrong there. My team to watch is also the Johnnies. Chris Mullen, their new coach. I mean, Shamori Pons.
He's been there like 6 years, dude.
Huh?
Mullen's been there since I've been a fan of St. John's.
It doesn't even matter. He's good. Shamori Pons.
He's not good.
They have Auburn transfer out of Heron. They have 3 returning starters also. So, yes, they will get the job done.
All right. All right, obviously bias here. Champ. I'm not going to say it's going to happen. I'm going to say there's the talent there. When Nova is not invincible anymore, obviously, it's noted that 4 starters, 3 starters and a bench dude went to the NBA. The bench guy was picked higher than all of the starters. So, I mean, that's just crazy in itself.
Bucks.
But, yeah, Bucks and 6. Marquette, 167 defense 2 years ago, 192nd last year. I mean, can the defense improve? That's the real question. The talent is there. KenPom has them at the 67th defense. I think that might get the job done. You might be looking at, I don't know if they can do it. They might be in the mix. I don't know. We're about to find out. Player of the year, if Marquette wins, it's going to be Marcus Howard. But I truly think Shamori Pons is just, he's that good. If it's gonna, whoever finishes higher in the conference, I'll give the edge to. And then my team to watch, unfortunately, agreeing with some of you, St. John's. But Nathan, I don't want to hear anything out of the non-con because they will be undefeated. They might have the worst strength of schedule in all of college basketball.
We're gonna get ranked.
They will be 13-0. The best team they will be playing is probably Tennessee Tech. Although they are talented. And
no disrespect to Tennessee Tech.
They are good.
Better than Carroll.
But being a Big East guy, I'll say, whatever, they have underwhelmed in past years. They've had the guys last year. Maybe. I mean, they have been. It's just been Pons. It's just been, shit. Help me out on that guy. Freshman.
He left.
Yeah. But really, since they've had Harrison, Shelby number 11 at guard, he's bald. I don't know if you remember him. They lost bottom right region first round to an 8 seed, I believe. They've really just underwhelmed, have looked for a new coach past Lavin. And it wouldn't surprise me if St. John's is a second weekend team. It also wouldn't surprise me if winning in NIT. Once again, only time will tell. I think the Big East is mediocre. They're deep. There's talent, but we'll see.
But mediocre.
Very mediocre.
I mean, you look at their 19. It's not bad. On the coaches poll, we're saying Creighton's not bad. See, everyone has a player. It's going to be, can the group surround that player and be good? All right. We'll go to the Big Ten. Nathan, you go to the Big Ten school. You can start it.
Champ is Michigan State. Put them in my top 5 teams. Player of the year. Another guy in my top 5 list, Carson Edwards, who no one talks about, I guess. We've said his name probably the most on this podcast. And my team to watch is the Wisconsin Badgers. And that's coming from 2 standpoints. Like, obviously, I go to Wisconsin, so I'm going to spectate those games. But they consistently reach Sweet 16s. Like, that's what Wisconsin Badgers are known for, is reaching the Sweet 16. And they failed to do it last year. And I think failing to make the tournament this year, just in general, is the end of Guard's reign. And I think that's kind of has something to say for the prestige here in Wisconsin.
All right, I'll go. My Big Ten champ is going to be Michigan State. Star, Nick Ward. He's very good. Great shooters out of Joshua Lang.
He's like the 4th best player on that team.
From 3 last year. And Cassius Winston shot 49.7 from 3 last year. They will be the best team in the Big Ten this year. My player of the year is Carson Edwards, as we talked about before. And my team to watch is Indiana.
Ooh, I do like Indiana. I do like
Star in the Big Ten.
Do you like Tom Crean there? Do you like Tom Crean still?
Yes.
All right.
He doesn't coach there.
He's not there.
Well, you're better than Will.
Juwan Morgan, Deron Davis, 2 great guards, also to surround Romeo Langford. And they have plenty of talent to run deep in the tournament. They will make the tournament this year.
Since Lance said that, I'm going to go off of him. I knew people would be picking Michigan State, so I looked for another team. I don't really like Michigan. I think they lost too much.
Michigan will win the conference tournament, though.
Too early to tell.
Just happens.
The champ, Indiana. They have potentially, maybe, my player of the year, Juwan Morgan.
Ooh, not even Langford.
No, Juwan Morgan. I don't know if you guys paid attention to Twitter. Indiana Faithful loves him. He's ranked the 15th seed on March Madness's Player of the Year poll. He made it to the finals. Obviously, that's fan vote. But Juwan Morgan was the only bright spot of that team last year. Archie Miller is a great coach. Let's not forget it. He was great at Dayton. Dayton was absolute garbage.
Tom Crean was a good coach, too.
Finally, my team to watch. The Nebraska Cornhuskers. Copeland and Palmer are back. I think they might have gotten robbed last year. They played extremely well in the NIT. I know the NIT, people say, it's just garbage, blah, blah, blah. You know what? At least it's more basketball. Copeland had to sit out a whole year. The more basketball, the better. The more cohesive your team gets, and the more March victories your team gets, the better. Mitch, I see you rubbing your eyes. Let's hear it.
My Big Ten champ, Wisconsin. I'm just kidding. Who am I kidding? Michigan State, returning 3 other top 5 starters, Cassius Winston, Joshua Langford, and Nick Ward. They also have 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 4-stars coming in. But there's only 1 in the top 100. So, I mean, I see it with Michigan State, but I also see a lot of overratedness, if you could say. Just my player of the year, probably the first time you heard him tonight, Carson Edwards from Purdue, point guard. Team to watch. I got Wisconsin. I mean, it'll be interesting to see with that whole unit coming back, but also Nebraska. Nebraska returns its top 4 starters, including James Palmer Jr., who averaged like 17 points per game. So, I mean, Nebraska, they can make a run. They might even win the Big Ten, but only time will tell. That's all I got.
Sounds good. We'll go to the Big 12. I'll start this off because, I mean, if you don't have Kansas here, I think we all are just doubting ourselves. Champ, Kansas.
We all
Player
have Kansas,
of the year.
right? We all have Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas consensus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Player of the year. I knew Lawson was going to be a majority, so I went with Barry Brown Jr. He scored 24 points in their scrimmage versus Oregon. Yes, Mitch. Oregon got shit on.
Wait, what was the words you said? What was the words you said before who they played? Oh yeah, scrimmage, everyone.
Oh, yes, very, very good point.
They didn't try.
Still
Why try in a
scored.
scrimmage? Why try in a scrimmage?
He still did score a lot. So did Peyton Pritchard. We'll get to that later.
Ooh, Peyton.
So Barry Brown Jr. And my team to watch, maybe it's just because me and him have a great relationship on the court and off the court. He loves me. Don't know if he remembers me. But West Virginia, Jordan McCabe, Saga Conte. I mean, this team
Not
is
a
just,
fan.
if you like if you like watching block shots, you can watch two of them in one when you watch Sagba play. He goes up with two hands, and he just hits it off the backboard. He's going to be the player of the year in the NCAA. West Virginia, Press Virginia, can they retool with Javon Carter gone? I think so. What say you, Lance?
Now, before Lance goes, can we get a yes/no from him? Is Jordan McCabe going to play significant minutes? Do you guys think?
10 minutes or less.
Yeah, I think he'll play. I don't know.
I feel like
I wouldn't
he has
consider
to
it significant. He'll easily play, but I don't know how significant. They lost so much guard play.
Especially the way they play, I'd say 15 minutes.
Is that three-point shooter that they had? Is he gone?
Dexter Miles, he's still there. He's there.
Still there.
They
I
lost
feel like
every other
McCabe might
guard.
have to run the point.
I don't think
He
they'll-
won't start.
No, they got who was Carter's backup last year?
I couldn't even tell you. I just knew Javon Carter.
Yeah, and his forehead.
Well, that's a lot to replace. So, all right,
All right,
Lance.
Lance, let's hear it.
Javon, tell us, Lawson's
All right.
your player of the year.
Like we said before, Dedrick Lawson
How
will
good?
be the player of the year in the Big 12.
Not top
My
5
team-
in the country,
My team
right?
to
Where do you have
watch.
him on your list?
Yeah,
What,
where-
on
how
your
good-
top 5 list? I'm curious. Where is he on your top 5 list? 1 through 5. Where is he?
Had him at
You have him at 3.
3
Yeah,
behind
3.
RJ Barrett and Carson Edwards.
Okay, thanks.
The team to watch. Iowa State.
Ty.
Lindell Wigginton coming back from the draft,
Here
averaged
you'll
18
see
points, shot 40% from 3.
Wait till we hear it.
Cameron Lard, healthy again. Joining him, Nick
Ward.
Wheeler Babb. No, not Nick Ward.
Ariel Shayok, too. Virginia.
They do have a top 100 recruit out of Talon Horton Tucker. I think he will see minutes.
Don't forget Mariel Shayok coming from Virginia. Add a little pedigree.
What team was that again?
Iowa State. And
Oh,
no,
I was
Tyrese will not
I
play.
was shocked you didn't say Tyrese.
Yeah, you didn't say Tyrese once. That guy DMs
Shout
you.
out
You
to
guys
my
are
boy
friends.
Tyrese, though. He follows me on Instagram.
All right. My player of the year.
Yeah,
My player of the year is not Lawson. It is Dean Wade.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know.
K-State.
It depends. I'm not high on Kansas State, but I think if they succeed, he's going to be a big reason why, and that team can finish second in the conference. So if they do. I think he's got a nod. My team to watch is TCU. That team just continues to move up in the Big 12 year after year under Jamie Dixon, who Pittsburgh let go for no reason. And after being bottom feeders year after year, I think maybe this year's the time that they can try maybe jump in the top 3. Kind of, they're in that mix.
Up to me.
Yeah.
My champ, I got Kansas,
We know.
of course. Player of the year, not Dedrick Lawson, not Dean Wade. Quentin Grimes, the top recruit from Kansas. Yep, he's there because they paid him. Let's be real. Kansas, he's the number 10 player, but they're also getting the number 36 with Devon Dotson. They're returning us Bouquet, Gerald Vick. They got two Stebo, De Sousa, I believe it is, and then Marcus Garrett, who are both returning. They didn't play much last year, but expect a little more minutes from them. And my team to watch, West Virginia, and mainly not because of Jordan McCabe, but how do you replace Javon Carter? He was one of the best guards in the league, and not in the league, in the nation, but I just don't know how you replace a guy that was so well defensively and offensively.
But you're expecting Kansas to.
Hey,
What?
you guys know he skipped the NBA? He was too old.
You're expecting Kansas to, replace? Why aren't you expecting West Virginia to?
Because Kansas is replacing them with top recruits and top transfers.
Fair. Okay.
Javon Carter is right along with Perry Ellis. I don't know. They age quicker than I don't even know.
Not faster than hairline receipts.
All right, Pac-12. We'll go to the biggest Oregon fan I know, Mitchell, the Peanut Butter Man, Jandren.
All right, my champ for the Pac-12 was not Oregon. Just kidding, it's Oregon. Player of the year, I got Benny Boatwright from USC. I really wanted to go with Pritchard, but I just can't. There's too many great players at Oregon. And Boatwright, I mean, he averaged 15 points a game and 7 rebounds, and I mean, he's not a very great 3-point shooter, but he'll get the job done. Oregon, how are you guys not high on them? They have their top scorer. They got Bol. Do you know who Bol is? If you don't, look him up. Wow. And my team to watch. Hey, don't bring that up. UCLA. I mean, they return Chris Wilkes. They return Jalen Hands. They return Prince Ali. They all averaged over 9 points a game. And I mean, they do have the number 6 recruiting class coming in, but were they that good? Are they that good? I mean, you can see them being a playing game. Again, that's all I got to say about UCLA.
Lance.
All right. I'm going to have to side with Mitchell.
I think we're all
the champ will be Oregon. Bol will come in, follow in his father's footsteps. He will be great. They also have Peyton Pritchard, who I think is a toss-up for Player of the Year between him and Jalen Hands from UCLA. With O'Neal's injury, I think he's really going to have to step up. I think he's going to be one of their best players on their team. And the team to watch, I did have UCLA also. With the loss of O'Neal, like I just said before, I think it's going to be interesting how they can come back and try and win.
Pac-12 champ, hate to side with Mitch, hate to side with Lance. Oregon.
If you're siding with me, you're doing something right. That's all I got to say.
Who is going to beat them? I'd really like, hey, if people want to send in who can beat Oregon, please, I'll take any team.
You know what? To any viewer who can predict the Pac-12 winner besides Oregon, I'll give $10 to. That's all I got to say.
He is high rolling. All right, Player of the Year, Peyton Pritchard. I know it's a scrimmage match, 24 points versus Keanu Stokes and Barry Brown. He matched him. He feels like he's been there forever. I know he might be up there. Oregon might have a lot of talent. I think he gets it done. And the team to watch, Oregon. No, not Oregon. Don't watch Oregon because they're going to win. And they're on the West Coast, so get your sleep. Instead, watch a team in the Mountain Time Zone. Colorado, McKinley Wright, the 27th. He's a good player. Nathan, I'll give it to you.
Champ is Oregon. There's not really another team in that conference that's going to compete. Player of the Year, Peyton Pritchard, best player on the best team. Once again, not really anything that's going to compete
in the country.
And then for what to watch, I can't think of many reasons to watch the Pac-12 this year. So,
True
Pac-12
that.
after dark.
Over under 3 teams in the tournament.
One. So what to watch is Bill Walton. Strictly Bill Walton. You only tune in to Pac-12 after dark to watch Bill Walton and not the basketball.
Bill Walton is terrible.
Bill Walton is a national monument, and he deserves to be respected. So please don't ever talk like that about him again.
Show me a monument with Bill Walton on it.
Billy Walton does Arizona games. Watch out. He gets attacked by that Bearcat a lot.
Over under on how many times Bill Walton says Conference of Champions this year is set at 8,412. We will be keeping an updated track of that throughout the season.
Wow. That means we're going to have to watch the games.
Well, I will be watching Pac-12 after dark strictly for Bill Walton.
Yeah, me too.
I might
and McKinley Wright, the 27th. Mitch will be watching for Oregon. We might have them all covered. But I don't know who's going to be watching something like Oregon State versus Washington State. I really hope Billy doesn't cover that game. All right, we'll go to the SEC, the most overrated conference, in my opinion, of the entire NCAA. Mitch, would you like to go first? Because you're a big Kentucky fan.
Yeah, I'll go second.
I'll start.
Nathan.
Kentucky's going to win the conference. Uber talented, easily. But the player of the year is going to come from a team in Tennessee, but it's not going to be the reigning player of the year. It is going to be Admiral Schofield. He is going to be the player of the year. And team to watch is Vanderbilt. They're very young, but they have talent on the team. They're projected to finish 9th in the conference this year, which is really low in my opinion. And they always play the good teams close. So, I mean, you want to watch a good game, turn on a game at Vanderbilt. Just got to adjust your eyes to that court. It's a little wacky.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Lance.
The champs are going to be, like Iago said, they will be Kentucky. I think the player of the year is going to be P.J. Washington. I think he is very skilled, and he will win the player of the year. Now, the team to watch, I didn't really do too much research, but I think the team to watch at number 5 in the preseason power rankings is going to be Florida. I think they are the team to watch. Like last year, they are my dark horse.
Oh, God. The old Florida dark
The
horse.
Florida dark horse.
Oh, my gosh.
But then they lost their shot blocker, and the season was over. Man,
Lance T-Von strictly left a group chat because we said Florida was not good. He's
Lance
like,
T-Von thought Florida was the best team in college basketball last year.
All right, up to me. I do have Kentucky Wildcats winning it. Player of the year, Grant Williams from Tennessee, averaged 15 and 6. I mean, but I also have a couple honorable mentions for player of the year that could be close. I do have Tremont Waters from LSU and Reed Travis. I mean, Reed Travis might not even start, which just shows the depth that Kentucky has. It's insane. And then my team to watch, Mississippi State, and this is why. They return their top 6 scorers, all 5 starters, and a guy you want to pay attention to, Quindary Weatherspoon, 14 points a game, 6 rebounds. The guy's uber good. Uber good.
All right. I'm looking at the conference right now as a whole, and I see 4 teams, maybe 5 in the NCAA tournament. People are projecting 7 to 8. I think that's blasphemous. My champ, Kentucky. My player of the year, a guy not mentioned, Keldon Johnson. Highest recruit of them all. He's going to be Malik Monk-esque. SEC player of the year, yes.
Yeah, none of us picked the reigning SEC player of the year.
Yeah, that's well, he's overshadowed by Sir Edmund. And team to watch, LSU. They got a little guy, Tremont Waters. I lost in Pick'em 1 game last year because Tremont Waters went on the road to Missouri and decided to beat them on a buzzer beater, which was the worst shot I've ever seen in my life. He pretty much just hook shotted it from about half court. Just terrible. But he's a little guy, and I like watching him. Gotta root for the little guys.
It didn't matter. I mean, I destroyed all of you in the pick'em, so it didn't.
All right, we'll get to that. You'll get to that.
And I did pick Grant Williams to be player of the year, so.
Oh, I was 2-0 at that time.
All right. Well, it's time. We've run through them all. None of us are probably going to be right on this because none of us could have predicted Loyola Chicago versus Michigan last year. That's 2 of them. Who was even the other side? Villanova, that was projected, and Kansas, you could have. Maybe we'll get 2. I don't know. Maybe.
Or all 4.
Maybe all 4. But I'm going to ask for this. Final 4, and I know it wasn't in the script, but I want a dark horse. I want a dark horse who maybe not in the top 4 seeds, but has the talent to run deep. Lance, I'm the most interested in yours. I'm going to start with you.
Well, my Final Four, we're going to start with the obvious one, Kansas. They're going to make it to the championship this year. They're just far too talented. Number 2, Virginia. Too good. Number 3, we're going with Kentucky also, another blue blood. And number 4, I had some debate. I put it up in the hands of either Michigan State or Oregon.
No Duke?
Between those two teams. No Duke this year. Duke will lose in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, they're not.
Wow. On the shoulders of Nick Ward. He's big enough to carry a team.
Who's your dark horse?
My dark horse
This is on the spot, T-Von.
is
We can give you time.
Florida. Oh, 2 years in a row.
Hey, who is Florida's best player?
I don't even know, but they are my dark horse.
Scotty
this
Wilbekin.
year.
Scotty Wilbekin. He's still there.
Kenny Boynton.
All right.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I'll be done in a second.
No, you won't.
I'll be done in a bit.
We didn't even do the Wisconsin Marquette stuff yet. That's gonna take a long time.
I know.
Okay. My Final Four is Carolina, Gonzaga, Villanova, Kentucky. Not really going out anywhere on any of those limbs. And my dark horse is
Texas.
Sister Jean's Loyola Chicago.
Wow.
Clayton Custer returns. I think
It's not even a dark horse.
I think the team is actually talented. I did not like them last year, so I'm going to like them this year.
Mitch, that's a dark horse.
Nope.
Mitch, I just
Who the hell's picking Loyola Chicago to go back to back?
Yeah,
You
kind
know,
of like
I know it's a dark horse. I'm just kind of trying to stall a little bit because I was a little bit caught off guard. I don't have a dark horse down, but
Would you like me to go? I can go.
yeah, you go.
All right. Final Four. The number 1 overall seed, Gonzaga. Number 2, Virginia. Number 3, Kansas. Number 4, I'm changing on the spot. Now, you see, I remember Duke doesn't make Final Fours. They are uber talented. They just don't make Final Fours. Therefore, I'm just trying to think on the spot. I really don't like any other team. So, I'm going to say North Carolina. North Carolina is good enough to get there. They're talented. I don't like them. That doesn't mean they're not talented. And the team that I have that can make a deep, deep run is Mitch. Let's get your Final Four. I was caught off guard by my own question as well.
All right. My number 1 overall seed, I have the Kentucky Wildcats. I mean, just too much talent on that team not to make a deep run. It doesn't matter. I mean, they got experience, but they also have a lot of newcomers. But they'll figure it out. John Calipari, great coach. My number 2, the Duke Blue Devils. Zion Williamson. I know he's a hot commodity in here. R.J. Barrett. But no one talks about Cam Reddish, who could low-key be one of the best players in the country. My number three, I mean, I just got an eye roll from them. I'm going to have to help them out a little bit. North Carolina. Yes, I feel like they could. I don't want to say it, but they could. They probably are my favorite to win it all this year, in all honesty. But to my number 4, who's my other favorite, the Oregon Ducks. Yep. Final Four bound, national championship, maybe bound. They're going to have to go through North Carolina, according to my bracket, so we'll see. And my dark horse, we're going to go with Marquette Golden Eagles. So much talent, baby. I do like Marcus Howard. I do like the Hauser brothers. And can you stop making that face? You are a Marquette fan. I know you are. At heart. At heart, you're a Marquette fan. I'm going with Marquette. Too much talent.
All right, Mitch, love to agree with you, but I want to save a little bit for the last segment. I think they could. We'll see how it goes. My team is going to be the Florida State Seminoles. Deep, deep team. Maybe that's not a dark horse. If that's not a dark horse, I can pick another one.
No,
but they're deep. They have Terrence Mann back. And also, I really wanted to pick Nevada to go to my Final Four. They are uber talented. But They have to find out how to replace their best three-point shooter going 10 for 48 on three-pointers in all scrimmages and exhibitions so far. That won't cut it. 20% is not going to cut it. Number 7 in the country, they're going to compile.
Wofford. No one picked Wofford. I mean, they went in and rolled over North Carolina last year. I mean, Storm Murphy, Fletcher McGee. Fletcher McGee was the best player in
Kentucky. Fletcher McGee was the GOAT because he went off against UNC.
Best player ever to play college basketball, I guess.
Ever.
I can agree with this. You guys are making bold statements. I think we're all in favor of that.
Oh my gosh.
We're all in favor of skipping the UNC versus Duke debate and
yeah,
to
we
our
can
main
skip
event.
it.
What?
Lance, we can
Yeah,
see
you
that
like
for
Duke.
another
I
time.
like Duke. Rank doesn't like Yago's pick, and Yago's North Carolina. There we
So
go.
let's get to our main event here in our Marquette.
I kind of want to see Nathan versus Lance, though.
Marquette versus
If you guys got
Wisconsin today.
anything to dispute each other, please let it out right now.
Who will guard Zion Williamson? I don't care how bad
It's not a matter of who will guard Zion
He is
Williamson.
unguardable.
You
And
want to
like
know who's
Mitch
going to
said, the dark horse on that team, Cam Reddish. Who is going to guard him? He can play the 4 or the 5, and he can go out on the perimeter and shoot a 3. Who's going to guard him?
It's not a matter of who's going to guard Zion. You know what's going to stop Zion Williamson?
Don't
His
even
heart
say
rate.
it. No.
The man can't play for longer than 8 minutes without going into like cardiac arrest because he's so out
true,
of shape.
Yaco.
I need video surveillance evidence for this.
I think you're going to see Zion average at least 28 points or 28 minutes a game. Not 28 points. That would have been bold.
UNC just doesn't have Theo Pinson. I mean, I would give you some credit if they still had Theo Pinson.
Theo
He could
Pinson
go and
stopped
guard.
Marvin Bagley last year.
Marvin Bagley is not Zion Williamson. I could have told you from day one of the draft, Marvin Bagley is the bust of that draft. Zion Williamson, the most athletic college basketball player to ever play.
Bold.
You
It's
know,
not bold. It's
Once
true.
again-
I really don't know who's going to guard Zion. But I really don't know who's going to guard Luke May either. I mean, no one could do
Are
it
you
last
kidding?
year. Who?
Coach K can't coach.
Well, then why is his name
Who's
Coach K?
guarding Luke May?
Who's guarding Luke May?
Cam Reddish will guard Luke May.
Okay, good luck with
Okay,
that.
but then all I see is they have a guy to guard Cam Johnson, but
Who's going to guard
this
RJ
year Little
Barrett?
versus RJ Barrett will be wow.
It's not a matter of guarding these guys, Lance. They play. None of them are going to play cohesively.
You don't know that. They're a brotherhood, according to Lance.
They're a brotherhood. Then why do they have the most out transfers in college basketball in the last 10 years?
Player to watch.
Tell me that.
I'm gonna
Alex O'Connell.
Lance, I was just gonna say it.
Okay,
Alex
Lance.
O'Connell.
Lance, I have a question for you. You go by the name Brotherhood. How come Duke has the most out transfers in the last 10 years?
That's because they take idiots like Chase Jeter who don't even belong to wear a
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah, because they're a brotherhood. Because Coach
And
K
Derek
only
Thornton.
plays 7 guys on his team, and then complains about being not deep enough because he gets 6 recruits a year and doesn't play them like Chase Jeter.
This
Yeah.
year they have the depth, and they
No.
will go 10 deep between O'Connell, Jordan Goldwire, and Javon Delorier.
No.
It's only 8.
And then
But
they're-
I do agree with Yago on this part that they did get Joey Baker. He's like the number 30 in the class, but he very well could redshirt this year, and I don't see him playing ever for Duke. I just don't see
No,
it. He's
mark
getting
my
probably
words.
farther.
Duke's first loss, Coach K's post-game press conference is going to be he doesn't have enough guys. They're not deep enough yet, and the guys that aren't playing aren't showing enough, and that's why they're not playing. But in reality, he just doesn't know how to coach.
Who's the more talented team?
Duke is the more talented team.
Definitely
without a
Duke.
doubt.
Who's going to make it farthest?
Carolina will.
It's hard to not say Carolina because Duke always loses early.
Roy Williams is a more dominant
What
coach.
about when they won it all?
Roy Williams is a better coach.
Maybe.
I do agree Roy Williams is the better coach.
Coach K wins with guys. That's about it. I don't know.
Coach K is a very good recruiter, not a good coach.
He's got a lot of wins.
I'm
too,
actually
but,
gonna tell you guys something. I did matchups, and at point guard, I did give Duke the nod. I gave shooting guard. I put Cam Reddish at shooting guard because I just don't see Zion or RJ Barrett playing the 2. And then I put it equal between Little and Barrett. And then we got Zion over Cam Johnson, but Luke May getting 2 advantages over Delorier.
Maybe
And I give
5.
an advantage in coaching and bench to North Carolina. I feel like North Carolina, Duke has talent, but North Carolina
Lance,
has depth.
you
Like,
can't
people
something to
want
say
Duke
about
to have depth, but Carolina has the depth.
Let's hear
Well, you guys are
Delorier.
also forgetting about the past champ Tyus Jones' brother, Trey Jones.
Yeah.
We're not forgetting about him. He's
Yes,
there.
you are. That name has not been mentioned yet. He will be.
I just
great.
mentioned him.
Okay, whatever. I'm ready to talk about Wisconsin Badgers. Does anyone want to start with an
Here
opening
we
statement?
go.
I'll start with an opening statement, then we can all rebuttal. I just like to throw out a date for you guys. March 30th, 2013.
Oh God.
2,039 days ago since Marquette basketball won a NCAA tournament game. So I'd just like to point out some things that have occurred since that time. The Wisconsin Badgers have 13 tournament wins, 4 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite 8s, 2 Final Fours, 1 national championship appearance. So March 30th, 2013 was the last time that Marquette won a basketball game. Rank, I have one question for you. Do you know when Flappy Bird was discontinued?
Wait, what?
Do you know when Flappy Bird was discontinued? You know the game Flappy Bird, right? Everyone knows that game.
Yeah.
Do you know when that game was
All right,
discontinued?
you're talking all these stats
No,
about.
one thing. Answer my question. Do you know when the game was discontinued?
It was probably before the last time Marquette won a tournament game.
Yep,
Well,
it was
I
in
guess-
2014. No one remembers it, but it was only in 2014. And Marquette has not won a playoff or a tournament game in a whole year prior to that because no one remembers it. They are the basis of irrelevant, and I don't really know why we're having this debate, but I feel like we're just going to have it. So let's go.
All right. If we're gonna throw stats out, if we're gonna just because we remember it doesn't mean much. So tournaments made all time, 32-23 Marquette. Sweet 16 all time, 16-10 Marquette. Elite 8 all time, 7-6 Marquette.
I'm going to stop you there, sir.
Can we get some
We're
updated statistics?
we're not talking about the past. We are talking
Updated
about this year.
statistics.
Okay,
Ooh.
thank you. I was just gonna say if we're gonna bring up pass, I just want to bring up a little bit of those stats. But just because we remember it doesn't mean
And
much.
if you
I
wanna
get
talk-
it.
you
We
wanna-
haven't won a lot lately. It's been rough sledding lately. Buzz Williams left. We had a 7-man rotation for a year.
Hey!
That was terrible.
So your argument is that Wojo inherited a bad team, right? That's what you're saying? Because the same
Yeah,
team-
this is his first year. This is his first year with a full recruit. Like his recruits, these are all his guys.
So in theory, like obviously he should improve every year, right? Because he's getting more of his guys, right? Then
Yeah, I mean, they have besides last year.
then explain
definitely
how he
stepped
went
back.
from tied for 3rd in the conference in 2017 to tied for 6th in the conference in 2018 and had a worse record. He had more of his players. So what's the cause for that?
I mean, it was they had the same conference
Strength
record.
of the conference.
They
Same
not have the same
conference
conference
record.
record. They had one extra conference loss and one more conference.
Also, I think strength to the conference speaks to that because last year that conference had 2 number 1 seeds. I'm just gonna throw that out there. You might not have liked Xavier, but I mean,
No one did.
Yeah. Well,
Fuck you, JP
your mom-
Mack.
your mom did though. She picked him in your Final Four.
I would just like to point out the Badgers were closer to beating Xavier than Marquette was, but
I want to put a stat out there. Wisconsin's returning 8 guys. I mean, today we learned that Aleem Ford's going to miss a little bit of time, and Trev Anderson's also got a little bumps and bruises. And I mean, they are returning 210 minutes compared to Marquette's 7 guys who are returning 132. And then points per game, Wisconsin is returning 73 points per game compared to Marquette's 60. I just don't see I know Marquette has Joseph, I don't know. He didn't look like he was supposed to be on the basketball court last night. Cartoony, I think his name is. They got Brendan Bailey. Brendan, he had 10 assists, but
He's very out of shape.
It's Carroll. It's against Carroll.
We
cannot draw any conclusion from last night's game.
I'm not gonna, because I could say a lot of negative things, but I'm not going to, because Carroll was the worst basketball team I've ever seen on a court in my entire life.
Agreed. They couldn't dribble.
Yeah.
They couldn't dribble.
They had 7 travels in the first 10 minutes.
Right. We're done with Carroll. All right, Mitch, keep going. Yeah, that was awful.
What I think people are underestimating. I mean, yeah, you guys got the Hauser brothers and Howard. They're going to carry you guys so far. But, like, Wisconsin does have I feel like they have the best player out of these two teams in Ethan Happ. I mean, yes, Marcus Howard may score more. He might have more of a role on his team. But Ethan Happ is all around the best player, and he attracts so much attention that if those guys can better themselves around him, I feel like this team could be unstoppable. I mean, they lost. They had a brutal non-conference schedule last year, and they lost.
They competed in their.
I'm pretty sure they lost 8 games by 5 or less.
Xavier, UCLA, Baylor were in every single one of those games. I think you win
Brevin
those games. Your season's totally different.
People say Kobe King. He's coming off he's not that special, but Kobe King. He was playing very great basketball before he left. Brevin Pritzel was playing tremendous at the end of the year, and he might come off the bench this year. But Nate Reavers, they're expecting a lot from him. He might be the second best player, eclipsing Brad Davison on this team.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So I get it. Both teams, they're bringing pretty much everyone back, right? And, I mean, the Badgers have Anderson and Strickland coming back, adding. That'll play significant minutes, I guess. Would you agree with that? Any minutes?
I don't know. Yeah. I think that's up in the air yet. There's so many guards on that team. And they got McGorry, too.
I don't really think – my point is I don't really think they added much. They are deep at guard. I think those guys might average combined 15 minutes a game. That might be on the high side.
But the last time the Wisconsin Badgers brought everyone back, they made a run. They were one of the best teams in college basketball.
They're bringing back Trice, bringing back Kobe King. So they're not.
Trice did not play good.
What?
Trice was not good, but before he was injured, I think he averaged 11 points, and he might have shot 30%.
Trice may not have been good, but he was the second option on that team. He is like the 5th option on this basketball team this year.
He's going to quarterback that offense, too.
Better than Alex Hornibrook would.
We're not going there.
I don't know. I don't think Brad goes up much. I think he stays right where he was last year.
But Rank, you told me Marquette was going to improve defensively, and that Ken Pom had them 70th on defense. But then I looked up on Ken Pom, and Wisconsin has the 18th ranked offense and 27th ranked defense. Marquette might have a better offense, might be a little better. They are better shooting, but Wisconsin's shooting is underrated. I just feel like they won't be able to stop a Badger team that is probably more athletic than them.
No, they don't know. They don't know how to play defense. Marquette can't play defense. That's simple. They finished in the bottom half of defensive ratings in college basketball the past 2 seasons. That team is very, very below average defensively. So the only way they're going to stick in games is to chuck up the 3-ball. What happens when the 3-ball's not falling? They're going to lose some basketball games.
They almost lost. They didn't almost lose to Carroll, but they were almost down to Carroll for a significant amount of time because they can't hit the 3-ball. Three guys can only take you so far.
In terms of roster construction, Wisconsin has a better roster than Marquette.
Okay. I have the greater than equal to thing just as Mitch had. I have
pretty sure I do too. I do have it. I'll say it after yours.
Howard greater than Davidson. I have
you should be comparing Howard to Trice.
Yeah.
You can't just you can't pick and choose players to manipulate it, though, I feel.
Aren't they both?
Because who are you going to compare Trice to then? Trice is the point guard. I think Davidson's going to run more 2-ball than Trice will this year.
Oh well, I thought Chartuni was going to be the point guard. Obviously, that might change, but I had Chartuni and Trice cancel. Obviously, we haven't seen really Chartuni play significant minutes. We really haven't seen Trice play significant minutes. So I had that as a cancel, and I had Howard. I think he's going to play a lot of off ball this year, to be honest, just like Davidson will. And I had Sakar, who looked like damn near the best guy on the court last night at times. Like most athletic. I had him canceling out King. I had Hauser greater than Reavers. And I guess whoever we throw at center is not going to be better than Ethan Happ. But I just have our bench with Brendan Bailey and Joey Hauser.
Brendan Bailey looked very unathletic and uncoordinated yesterday. That's all I have to say.
No. Per Coach Woj post game, Brendan, he's first of all, you got to give him a little. He hasn't played in 2.5 years,
which isn't going to help him.
Well, he's going to get. They have so much room for growth with Morrow not playing 2 years, Joey Hauser not playing 1.5 years, Brendan Bailey not playing for 2.5 years. They have so much room to grow. I'm disappointed in Jamal Cain. That I'll give you. Theo John didn't play last night. I don't know. He could be a murderer for all we know, the way he looks. And Matt Helt, he's in the right position. He won't wow anyone, but he'll play defense. I really don't know the Badger bench, but I'm going to take Brendan Bailey's Joey Hauser and Ed Morrow, assuming Morrow comes off the bench, over, I'm trying to think, Brevin Pritzel.
If you take Aleem Ford and Brevin Pritzel, those two players,
Aleem Ford, Khalil Iverson.
Khalil will start, I think.
No, this is what I got. I compared Howard and Trice. I gave 2 arrows to Howard because, yeah, it's obvious. I gave Davison the nod over Chartuni. I canceled out Sakar and Khalil Iverson. I gave the nod to Sam Hauser over Reavers, and I gave 2 nods to Ethan Happ over Matt Held.
Maybe 5.
Maybe 10. Maybe 10.
Matt Held is not a good basketball player.
I am with Rank here. The second line between Marquette and Wisconsin, Marquette definitely is in favor. I mean, I'm taking Hauser, Bailey, and Morrow over King. I'm taking them over. What else they got?
Pritzel, Ford.
Ford, but we don't even know if Ford's going to be back for that game. I don't think he will on December 8th. And then their other significant, I know I'm missing him and I can't think of it. Anderson? No.
There's Ilya Kanan.
Ilya Kanan, I mean, yeah, but yeah.
Hedgton might play.
I don't know. Oh, I was missing Pritzel. My bad. I don't know. I do think Marquette has more depth, but Wisconsin's experience is gonna be able to take over that depth.
Too, Mitch.
Not.
They do. I mean, they're young, but guys that haven't played in a while, but their experience, they have 2 seniors.
Okay, let me put it this way. Wisconsin has experience of being able to succeed on offense and defense. Marquette has experience for just offense.
Fair enough. I'm not going to say we're some great team on defense because, simply put, we aren't. I went to 3 practices now and obviously exhibition, and literally all they work on is defense. I literally haven't seen them run an offensive drill yet this year.
Which is
so
not good because the way they shot the 3 ball yesterday, I'd start working on that a little bit more.
Hey, Lance, what do you think on this topic?
I mean, Coach Woj put it best. I don't think any of us are losing sleep over 3-point shooting. 2 guys above 40%. Sack looks better shooting the 3 than he did last.
All right, yeah, we got it. Lance, what do you think? What are you thinking here?
Marquette is the overpowered team. They will beat Wisconsin this year. The Hauser brothers and Howard. They might not be able to carry him all year. They'll carry him deep, but they won't carry him all year. But they will carry him past Wisconsin.
Forget I asked him.
I'm gonna give a record prediction for Marquette, and this is realistic. It's 23-8. It's realistic. That's not over the top or anything. It's literally 12-6 in the Big East.
Whenever I see Marquette, I I see at least 10 losses
10
by
losses,
their name.
easily 10
That's
losses.
just how I see that. I see that program.
It's a 10-loss team without a doubt.
I haven't went through Wisconsin's schedule. I don't know if you guys have projected record.
Undefeated,
Never lost.
All right.
Bold.
I think unlikely, but I think on December 8th we will win.
I think Badgers win by double digits. Marquette's got a big head right now, in my opinion. And I think it's
You
going
don't
to
hear anyone in Wisconsin faithhood being like, "Yeah, we're going to be good," but we expect it.
Speaking of that, I'd like to point something out. I got a little something here. So, Marquette fans think that there's something now, and I'm not really sure where that came from. They received a couple votes in the preseason poll, so...
Oh, I love this.
Big deal.
I love this.
Big deal. So they think they're good now. And recently, in terms of this week, I was sent an article where a random reporter placed teams that could win a national championship. And I use the word could extremely lightly because, they put those teams into different tiers, like levels of chances they could win. And all the way on the bottom, and literally all the way on the bottom, like they were the last team, like you had to scroll all the way to the bottom. You saw a team there, the little MU logo, Marquette. You can say somebody believes in this team. And attached to that tweet was a Marquette page that tweeted that we are going to win the Natty. And I have it screenshotted. Let me finish. Let me finish. So I understand it's great to have faith in your team, but I, as a Wisconsin Badger, know that we are not winning the national championship this year. Like, that's not in our goals.
Yet.
That's not in our goals.
Growth and development.
But
knowing all members of Marquette Nation, they say that Matt Helt is our best player.
The
Do we
delusional
believe
fans.
that? No.
The delusional
Do we-
fans out there in Milwaukee.
He could be.
I'm not done. I'm almost done. The delusional
He's not
fans out there
yet.
in Milwaukee
The best player could be the 8th man.
actually think their team has a shot to win it all. That's just comical. But to my point,
They don't have Dwayne Wade.
they don't know how to handle being relevant. So they need to go back to irrelevancy where they belong and bury themselves there for the next couple years and avoid tournaments and avoid relevancy because clearly they're not capable of being able to handle that commitment.
Well,
They're irrelevant. It's just as simple as that. The Badgers are Wisconsin's team. There's a reason it says Wisconsin across the front of their chests. They always will be. So
it can't be to Wisconsin. All right. Well,
Can't be a Wisconsin State either.
we're about to see. We'll close that, and we'll let the results speak from. I believe we wanted to add something on Pick'em before.
all right, yeah. Just as this college basketball crew here, I'd like to give a little snippet of what us four guys and one other guy does throughout college basketball season. Every single day, we pick college basketball games, and we pick the winners, we record our results, and we keep track of our standings. So we started this in 2016-17, and we picked 192 games throughout the course of the season. So, I mean, that's a pretty decent amount, I'd say. And then last year, our goal was to up that total, and I think we successfully achieved that. We picked
Just barely. We just got it.
We just got it, yeah. We picked 1,230 basketball games over the course of the year, where we picked the winner and loser of every single morning. Lots of arguments and lots of debates have come out of this, but it's a pretty good thing. Mitch Jandren, right here, he won last year, correctly picking the winner of 775 college basketball games.
It wasn't even close, people.
It was not close. I will probably post a picture of the standings on this podcast. But throughout the year, we'll keep you updated as to our standings and how many basketball games we pick. I think we're going to try to set a goal for around 1,400 games this year. I think that's doable. And
But
Forget to mention Lance T-Bon. Sometimes he claims he's like busy. He's busy. Like he just doesn't pick the games, or he'll just copy and paste someone else's. Yeah. So we have a new format for that.
We created a new system
we basically put it in a survey format so Lance T-Bon can't copy
T-Bon
games.
strategy of picking basketball games.
If you're scared, you can just tell me now. I will be the number one. I will be the number one.
Lance T-Bon has finished
You
last.
know what, ladies and gentlemen? We need to put a poll. Who is going to win the pick'em this year?
I would like to say that Lance T-Bon led more days than me, Nathan, or Mason Eisenberg. Lance Tebon was in first for 3 days.
This is true.
And I led.
Start the
You know,
season.
ladies and gentlemen,
Lego.
ladies and gentlemen, you know how long college basketball season is. I was in first place for all but 3 days. Think about it. It's not that hard. I'm your champ. Reigning champ and future champ. I'm the reigning, defending, undisputed pick'em champ.
I'm just excited to see
I am the
Lance
reigning,
Tebon's picking strategy this year.
undisputed bracket champ.
Because Lance Tebon would go and so how we send our picks is we send a list of the games and then everyone would respond with their picks. And Lance was quite interesting in his picks sometimes. Some days, most days, he wound up with the exact same list of teams as other people, including the same spelling mistakes in their teams, which is, I think, quite ironic. He claims he has never copied anybody's picks, but the jury's still out on that one. So this year with our new format, we'll really see Lance Tebon's picking ability as he has finished in dead last, not even close to anybody the last 2 seasons. So we'll see where he winds up this year.
He was over 100 games back last year, ladies and gentlemen.
I won't be
Last
surprised
year
if he finishes under
Towards the end of
500.
the year, we had the fixed system, so I unfortunately could not copy and paste,
We
and
did
that
not
led
have
me
the
to
fixed
take
system
dead
yet.
last by over 100 games. But this year, we are back better than ever. We're on the
You've done your
so-
you've done your research. You know you came prepared. That's all I gotta say. The one I'm scared of in this pick'em is definitely Lance.
And on that note, I think we're going to close this show.
Yeah.
So, as always, if you like
Duke over
sports with your
Kansas in the
biscuits,
championship classic.
what?
Sorry.
I'll go Kansas over Michigan State and Duke over Kentucky.
I'm going to go Bucky by a million, and that's going to close it out. Have a nice night.
Peace in the Middle East.